Zimbabwe. Thank you so much for tuning in. Last week we had a few problems, but I hope things are going to be okay this week because we have reverted to the old system. I always like my old system because it never gives me problems. When these people come and say we want to upgrade this and that, we want to upgrade this and that, I always get into serious problems here. So I will endeavor with my old system and see what happens. Now, my name is DJ Sodza, and I'm live from the United Kingdom. And Kuhamba side, very cold. These are the days that I wish I was in Zimbabwe, really, because this cold drives me insane. But anyhow, thank you so much for taking your time to listen to us. Let me introduce the panelists for today. I know that Sekuru is on his way to the studios. As soon as he gets here, we will get him on. Sally, welcome to the show there in South Africa.
Good evening, DJ Sodza. Good evening, Rosie. Good evening, Titch. Good evening, Fefe, and welcome back. And good evening, Wilbert. And good evening, Zimbabweans, wherever you may be.
Thank you so much for that. Tete Rosie in America there, welcome to the show. And thank you for being the first one to get into the studios. I like that.
Oh, thank you. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Right, we are good. Mukoma Tish, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mukoma. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to our dear listeners. We look forward to a great show.
Oh, wonderful. Mukoma Wilbert, welcome to the show. How is Manchester tonight?
Manchester is a bit cold too. How is everybody? Sally, I hope that you are going to solve your water problem and get that sorted out as quickly as possible.
Thank you, Wilbert. I'm praying. I'm going to do a rain dance tomorrow.
Right. Wapebema Square Seiko, and welcome back. We missed you for the past 3 weeks.
Thank you. Yeah. Good evening, Sally, Tich, Rosie, Wilbert, Muri, Zimbabwe, and other friends of ours who may be listening. So yes, I'm glad to be back, but I would have wanted to be there forever.
Now, Wapebe, first thing. May I congratulate you? We just reading newspapers and reading your war on Facebook and Twitter that you are now the official running candidate for Bindura North. How true is that?
It's almost true.
Well, we almost congratulate you.
Yeah. I'll actually make an official announcement.
Okay.
But yes, Bindura constituency has approached me, and among two other constituencies. So I will make an official announcement, but provisionally, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you so much. And whilst we are there, may I also say my condolences to Roy Bennett. I'm hearing that he's sadly passed away there in North America together with his wife. Maybe can you just tell us who is this Roy Bennett for some people who might be wondering why is so much outpouring of condolences from mostly the MDC family?
Yeah, he was a notable fighter within the MDC family. One of the founding members of MDC was an MP, a candidate for Chimani in the 2000 general election, the first election that MDC participated. And some of our listeners may remember that he is the MP who floored Shinamasa in Parliament, and then eventually was given 12 months, and after that he was then discharged from Parliament and banned from contesting as an MP. Apart from that, he also was then elected at the MDC Congress in 2006 as the Treasurer General. So he served as the Treasurer General of MDC, mobilizing some resources. And yes, he served the party from 1999 until 2013, when then he sort of retired from active politics when he was living in South Africa. So yes, that's why the MDC party support base and also the leadership giving tribute to him for his role and work in advancing, both in terms of democracy and building the party, MDC.
Okay. Well, right. Thank you so much, Wapepe. I don't want this show to be only about you, but I'm just intrigued, actually, because what happens is when Mnangagwa visited President Tsvangirai there, we had a show here. I don't know if you had listened to it on YouTube yet. We had a show here, and people were just wondering why he could suddenly travel to Tsvangirai's base there. What did you make of that? I know you might have been in Zimbabwe at that point. Were you one of the people who organized that?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't one of them, but I was aware of the occasion. Yeah.
Yeah. So for you, it was not sinister. It was done faithfully.
Let me hasten to say, yes, I know there have been some mixed feelings both within MDC and outside the party. Of course, to me and to the leadership of MDC, we don't see anything wrong with the visit. Yes, the other party might have a sinister motive whatsoever, but I mean, in our culture, there's nothing wrong in having visiting to see somebody who is ill.
And Tsvangirai, yes, and Tsvangirai was noticed, knew that Mnangagwa was coming, and he was given time to prepare and all that for this, or it was just a surprise visit?
I don't think it was not a surprise visit. Such a visit, a high-profile visit, cannot be a surprise one.
So he knew?
Indeed, yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Wapepe, for that. Right. Mkoma Teach.
Yes, Baba.
Yes. Mkoma Teaching ayatinayo pano mayona ere ku WhatsApp group?
No, ndandisina ndatozongona macomments amukoma Simba ndwandidzi.
No, if you remember last week, I received a lot of messages here from our beloved listeners wanting us to maybe dwell a little bit about the story that came out ku Zimbabwe nenyaya yema awards of tender BVRs and all that. I don't know, last week we didn't have time to talk a little bit about it. Would you like to start, maybe tell us the background of that story, where it came from and what they were saying and the significance of this story looking forward to the general election?
The problem that is arisen, or maybe that's the mud they want to stick on Rita Makarau, was that a tender was issued for supplying the BVR kits. Now, the BVR kits are what you go and do or is used to make up your profile, your voter registration profile, your biometric voter registration profile. These are the kits. And the companies that tendered were from all over the world, including China and the United States. And one of the key elements of that was to have a double backup database, so that if one is corrupted or for some reason develops a technical fault or whatever happens, they're able to back it up on another database as a backup system. There's a specific way that they do it that ensures that the backup system also is used to audit the inputs in the main database to eliminate duplications or any such issues, so that there is only that unique BVR, biometric voter registration for you. So there is not going to be another you. So which means that the issue of double voting is then eliminated. It is then alleged that this particular kits were awarded to a Chinese company. But instead of awarding them the full suite of the kit, which means including the databases, ZEC only awarded them the contract to supply only the BVR kits, not the backing databases. And as such did, out of tender, issue the databases backup system to one of the losing bidders, which is an American company. And whilst we all thought everything is rolling out as well as it should, the winners of the tender, although maybe others assumed they've been silenced by being awarded, actually went to the courts to challenge that this comes as a suite. It should come together with databases and everything. And they had included it for the quoted price of their initial tender, which they had been forced to reduce because of the other company having manipulated or shown in their bidding that they had actually had sight of other people's bidders when bids were supposed to be sealed. So as a consequence, the courts agreed with the Chinese company. Hence why you ended up with a situation where either Rita Makarao, as a result directly of that particular issue, was relieved of a post or decided to jump before she was pushed. Now the point that is there now is that the American company already was capturing this in their database, and the Chinese want it because they won the tender. So it's a scandal. We don't know the finer details, but that is the gist of it.
This is very worrying for the opposition, isn't it?
It's very worrying because it means that as we stand right now, with all the changes that are apparently taking place in ZEC and militarization further as before, you now have people like George Jewish, infamous for the 2008, having oversight. Because Louis Matanda Moyo, if he is Matanda Moyo, if as I hear that she is now the ZEC chairperson, she is George Jewish's direct subordinate. So you can see why Mnangagwa is so overly confident, other than the fact that the opposition itself is in intensive care anyway. But ZANU-PF seems well boiled by whatever is happening because they know more than everyone else what is going to happen. That's why you can hear they're now talking about bringing in international observers, etc. The truth of the matter is they've got this secured by now.
Wow. Right. Thank you so much, Mkoma Teach, for explaining to us that. I hope some people that didn't know the gist of it, at least they've got an idea now. Tete Rosie, what's your take on this issue? What's the noise you're hearing from there?
The first time I heard about it was when I started reading stories about the American the ZEC being taken to court over the American company, and so I already had issues with the Laxton company anyway, because there's some other paperwork that probably will come out later on in the year that they actually forged their references and that they're somehow connected to ED. And then there's another company that's working hand in hand with Laxton called Senlac, which is a water company. They're like a support service company for Laxton. And these guys didn't actually go through the tender process and they awarded, and that was actually another scandal earlier on, before BVR even started. So the whole BVR situation in Zimbabwe has been very unclear. And where I what really bothers me the most is reactions I've gotten when you talk to opposition people about the BVR situation. I talked to one particular young man, and I said, the whole BVR situation is making me very. It makes me feel uneasy because I feel like it's pre-planned. There's something going on. What do you think about it? And everybody just kind of like says, "Oh, it's fine. Everything is fine. Don't worry about it." But there's something there because it's not clear. It's not clear to me anymore whether Laxton, because Laxton at the beginning of the year, remember they leaked that paperwork that said Zach had not purchased the central system from them, that they purchased the kits, but not the central system. So now when I hear about the American company, I'm kind of wondering if they did that on purpose, because they were trying to bring attention to the fact that somebody else had been awarded the process of actually what the American companies was actually doing was they were actually auditing Laxton because they're auditing the voter roll. And if you look at the American company, it seems like a pretty clean company. It's a publicly traded company. They wouldn't do any shenanigans. And obviously, ZANU-PF wants them out of the way somehow. So to me, the moment I hear ZANU-PF say there's elections next week, for me, the elections are over. The moment they agree and they say observers, I know it's over. I know that's confirmation they know what they're doing.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Teteros, for that. And this was your Sally there in South Africa. What are you hearing there about this BVR thing?
Nobody was saying anything, and I have been very lazy. So, look, for me, that whole BVR system. The minute I heard Rita Makarao performing about there was a performance about I think it's the photocopying or the photostating or something, and she wanted a cheap one, just an ordinary one, and they said, no, you've got to have the proper thing, okay? I thought to myself, oh, okay. And the Kuv is still there, so as far as I'm concerned, look, those elections are over for me, okay? I mean, nothing has changed. Finished. It's just another ZANU-PF. That's it. And if they're agreeing to all these things, to the international observers and all this kind of business, that kind of sends a bomb off. Okay. And I mean, for me, look. Another thing that frightens me about the whole thing is these soldiers that have been deployed to the rural area. That to me also sends a sign of we're going to make damn sure we're going to win. Okay, so the rural people for me are going to be in trouble. I don't know. It's just a big mess, okay, as far as I'm concerned. And I don't know how it's going to work. I really don't.
All right.
I'm scared. I'm afraid.
Yeah, you're scared for the people there, even if you are hiding.
Very much.
Even though you are in safety, wrapping yourself in wool there in South Africa.
Wrapping myself in wool. I wish I was. More like wrapping yourself in bulletproof stuff. Okay? But right. It's frightening, okay, because we know how far ZANU-PF can go. Okay, we know with ZANU-PF there is no limits. Okay, nothing is too disgusting or too horrendous for them to do to stay in power. So I mean, look, we've got the author of everything is now Mr. President, His Excellency. I mean, what more? Please, I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
All right. Okay, Sally, thank you so much. Greetings, Mukama Wilbert. Mukama Wilbert, did you read the story about the scandal, about these BVR things?
Yes, I've been following it, but one of those things that we have got to accept here is that the without implementing the full democratic reforms and reforming the ZEC itself, we were always going to have that kind of problem, because nobody could really trust the officials in ZEC and what they are doing. They are part of this ZANU-PF system. They are good at hiding things. Everything you want us from them, you have got to literally beg. And when they give it to you, you know they've taken out something, or it's half true, or whatever. And that is the problem we've had with the voter registration system. And in this particular case, this problem is coming when Mnangagwa is saying he's going to have elections in 4 months or 5 months, and it hasn't been properly sorted out. You say to yourself, here is a regime that is determined to make sure that the voters' roll is as chaotic as it can be, and they know they will exploit that situation to ZANU-PF's advantage. And I agree with some of the panelists here who have already said these elections are over. You know, they are being rigged before our own eyes, and that is tragic. And I hope the international community will really sit up and take note and make sure that they do not give the all clear stamp of authority of clearance after the elections, because we can't afford to have another rigged election.
Definitely not. Thank you so much, Mkoma Wilbert. Vapfebve makaiona here nyaya yeBVR nenyaya dzematenda idzi vanhu vachiendesana kukoti and all the rest of it?
Yes, I did. Actually, before that, I was following. I don't know whether you remember Ndakambo Nyora a sort of an audit of the BVR, including Laxton. The link between Laxton and Kuv. I don't know whether you saw it, but anyway, just a summary. What happened is, although Laxton is said to be a Chinese company, it is actually not a Chinese company, but it is a South African company. Now the top leadership, yeah, if you are going to research, you find the top leadership, yeah, Laxton, 80% of top leadership, they are South Africans. And these are ex-security officers, yeah, South Africa. In other words, during the apartheid. So my intelligence officers, and some of them, they are also intelligence officers, retired, Nikuv. So there are guys from Nikuv, and then guys from South Africa. Now, if you look at the office, China, the Chinese office is not the headquarter, it is the production headquarter. So just like many organizations now, we produce China because of cheap labor. But so in that way, people are saying it's a Chinese. It's a Chinese because that's where the kits are being manufactured. But otherwise, it's a South African company. Now, further to that, this company, I think you remember, Gutiaka reference, you Gutiaka endo BVR Mozambique. And then if you check Mozambique, they've no records of Laxton having actually managed BVR in Mozambique. But however, Laxton is, they are right. Vakata say Vaka manager BVR in Mozambique, but Vaka manager under a different name. Now the directors, they give Laxton, they are the same directors. this company yakaita se yakamanager kuMozambique, and they are also the same vakamanager yekuzambia. Kuzambia yakamanagwa iri Nikuv, and these are the same people vanga vachimanager ikoko. This is the same company yakamanager kuGambia. Gambia, because it was specified in the UN. Because after that, Wakazoga with looting, so they were given mining rights, etc. After the elections were finished, and then it was investigated. They got out to know it was actually sort of a payback. So from an MDC perspective, we've got that information, and the leadership is aware. And we've put it in the public domain. It's actually in the public domain. I can give you further details later on. But I'm going to sketch sort of a summary of it. But there is a totally sinister motive. What they are saying they are is not necessarily what they are.
And can I just come in for 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Nikuv is a Mossad arm, offshoot, whatever you want to call it, but it is owned by Mossad, who are the what you call them, the intelligence for Israel. These
Correct.
guys are completely and utterly ruthless, and Nikuv belongs to them. They filter their agents through Nikuv.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You find that if you I'll give you the details, and there's a link. The same directors' names appear in the other companies in the Nikuv payakaita the BVR management in Zambia, and then ikaita ku Gambia. The same people. It's the same people changing names. It's the same people changing names.
Now, may I ask something?
Yeah, you may.
Okay. We've been saying all these things to some opposition leaders. And every time I have said it, I'm given the same answer. Everything is under control.
Well, it depends. When you say you've been told that everything is under control, by whom?
Chamisa told me everything is under control. Because I mentioned a lot of things in detail. All these things that you say, because I have the reference letters. I have everything. I was very concerned. I've been following the BVR. I've been doing a lot of write-ups on this for almost since last year.
Yeah, I'm not. Look, I cannot comment on your communication with the person concerned. But I'm talking from an MDC perspective as a part, not from an individual perspective. And we have got the details. And
okay, so what are you guys doing?
Sorry.
So what are you guys doing?
Yeah, if you were following, you find that even this week, Monzora akapa a statement and highlighting some of the those issues that Utara nations, auditing them. And Monzora has been directly involved in the communication in ESEC, demanding, in terms of transparency auditing, in terms of the further information as a follow-up. So yes.
So what about the other company? Because there's a support company that was working with Laxton called Sandlake, which is owned by one of Mnangagwa's sons.
Yes, yes, we are aware of that. If you look at it, there were two companies within Zimbabwe, right? And yes, initially that was the sort of the tender procedure, which they need also a backup from a company within the country. Now, Yes, there was also a sort of a tender for the backup as well, and which we can't say it went as transparently as we wanted. We've got also our own fears and issues that were communicated to ZEC at that point and ever since. Now, within MDC, let me tell you, kuti Monzora ndiye akaitwa assigned, ndiye ari totally in charge nekuita follow up neZEC, whatever information yatinopa, iwo ukapa information ku MDC, the person who is gonna take it head on neZEC ndi Monzora, and Monzora periodically ari kupa ma updates, yema engagements, including your way forward.
Okay.
Yes. So you may have given information and thinking that it was not taken on board.
No, the person I gave it to totally dismissed me. I know that for a fact.
Okay.
So after that, after being dismissed several times on several things that regard election issues, I really started looking into certain things, and that person has always dismissed anything that involves a free and fair election in Zimbabwe. And that's why I don't trust anyone in MDC anymore.
Yeah, I can understand your frustration, but I think you now know who is dealing in the BR and my elections, and that is the Secretary General Monzora.
Can I just say something there?
Yes.
Just for the benefit of Teteros as well. ZEC is tasked with managing the election. How they do it in terms of transparency is within the process of the tender board. And that they have been caught out cheating tenderers alone should mean MDC, as far as I'm concerned, should have raised the motion in Parliament. Because right now, Monzora can engage all he wants. The truth of the matter is that they've got management discretion as to how they do it. But because this has got a fundamental effect on the outcome of the credibility of the elections, it should have been raised as a parliamentary motion so that it's captured and answered.
Thank you.
It was raised in Parliament.
Okay. Yeah, because
what about this? Can I ask
furnish you with that evidence later on.
Okay.
DJ.
Can I also ask an additional question?
Yeah.
Okay. On the Sunlight Company, the tender process was not clear. So my question is, if the Lexington Company is suing ZEC because they say these people didn't win the tender and they came after the tender process and were awarded, Sunlight was awarded to work with Lexington after the tender process. They didn't actually go through a proper tender process. And this company is a water company. Yakaita bed water meters in Zimbabwe at one point.
Yeah.
So isn't these are both, the whole thing surrounding everything going on in itself should be questioned, including this time. This all needs to be raised in Parliament, like what Sid says. That's what, I personally feel, and I'm not, and you know what? I'm not in Zimbabwe and I'm not on the ground. But I can tell you, I've written, if I send you all the documents I've written and submitted and have been dismissed in the MDC, I honestly feel like the MDC, there's some people in MDC who do not care if Zimbabwe wins an election.
Right.
And I always, you know what I tell people now, and this is just me, an emotional person just talking. You know what I tell everybody now? I tell everybody, guys, let's just focus on the presidency because that's what we need. And people don't understand my support for Morgan Tsvangirai. It's because I don't trust the rest of the MDC. The behavior has been so sketchy.
Yeah, look. I register your concern, but let me tell you the other tender ye backing company the tender agenda ku tender board. Ndo tender yakawinwa ne Luxton. Now Luxton is the main contractor. Luxton gonna kutsvaga machi mamwe subcontractors. And that is within the, it's
Yes,
that is.
but that was the scandal, though.
Sorry.
But said that was the other scandal. Even that company, the support company, was supposed to go through the tender board. The company that went through the tender board and was awarded the tender was dismissed on short notice and fast track or something. Bangalawina, the Bakwatorwa company, Nerwe Ruseri.
Yes, we are aware. We have got that document. We have got those documents.
But my question is, okay, you've got everything. What happens if elections are closed to June and you guys have done nothing and nothing has happened? Do you now participate? And when you lose those elections, do you now complain that the elections were rigged? When you virtually there's been so many instances where things could have been done and resolved. I can tell you that we went straight to Morgan. Morgan would give you a directive to the more promise. And then I'm sitting at home doing nothing. I'm a person who's sitting at home 24/7 on Zimbabwe, communicating, doing my duty as a citizen, and being disappointed, especially by the young people in MDC.
I look at it. As I said, I note your concern, and I think it's a valid concern. And you are not alone. There may have been there are a couple of people who have actually voiced their concern. But I can assure you that continue feeding in, giving feedback, raising your concern, your advices, and as MDC leadership is listening. There may be individuals who may be a bit dismissive, but that is not the culture of the party. The culture of the party is that we are a party from the grassroots. And just to update you in terms of, I know you asked a very crucial question to say, having known now with those evidence, are we going to contest the elections? I think that is a very important question. But let me say, I've said that from the time of the tender up to now, the party set up a committee that will engage ZEC and challenge at every level. Now that committee is led by Douglas Monzora, who is the Secretary General. And from time to time, he actually feeds in and report back. And as I said this week, as early as this week, he did report the challenges that he has been having in the engagement. So it's not that MDC is not doing anything. MDC has got a committee, and then in terms of the decision will be made based on whether the operations of the BVR and the electoral process is agreed, is on track, or if it happens that somehow they are deliberately manipulating the process, then the leadership of MDC and the people of Zimbabwe will make decision whether it is what it makes sense to continue until an election, knowing very well that it has been manipulated.
All right.
Can I ask a question quickly, please, DJ Sodza? To Fefe, quickly.
Yeah.
Please?
Yeah.
Please. Okay. What was the result of them bringing up this whole situation in Parliament? Elliot?
Firstly, because it was not clear in terms of the server, right? To
Yeah.
say who was going to supply the server and who was going to manage the database.
Yeah.
So that was the burning point. And we didn't want a situation whereby, yes, we've got these kits that actually captures the biometric, and the whole data is going in the air and not being stored in the database. So that was the challenge. And then this is why eventually ZEC then invited MDC to a meeting to explain how the process will be, and in terms of the database, who is going to manage the database. That was where the problem now was, because we then picked it up that it was not consistent with the tender procedures. And this is why where we are now, this is why I'm saying we've been engaging in ZEC, and updating, and some of it has been publicly updated. And there's
Can I ask?
Yeah.
One more question, please. Pretty please.
DJ.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. George Charamba was on television this last week, and he said, as far as electoral reforms are concerned, we have not received a formal request from opposition to the president on what they want in terms of roadmap to elections. I know that we submitted something this week because after he said that, we decided to submit as citizens. I wrote something. We had people go and submit it. Have you guys submitted something? Because he went publicly on television and said, we have not received anything formal to the president's office.
Don't take Charamba seriously on that. He was not even part of the process of the discussions anyway. Look at it. There is ZEC, which is constitutionally empowered to manage, and the ZEC did set up a committee that includes the MDC for purposes of update periodically and the audit. So what Charamba would have put some MDC 2 minutes Samba on Charamba. That has nothing to do with the president.
But sir, you're the one.
There's an organ. There's nothing to do with the president. President is actually an interested party.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This is a new dispensation. And they're saying, with the new dispensation, MDC has not submitted a request. Munobei kungo submita.
Tributary matters of constitution here. Constitutionally, ZEC is mandated, and ZEC ever since ndio yangachita my engagements, right? As this lokuti tenda kuna president kuti president uda zvakati. We've made demands, and it's in black and white to the government and to ZEC. If yes, wakataura kuti a candidate to candidate, presidential candidate to presidential candidate, we have no problem with that. And I think at one point that will happen.
Yeah, but why are you waiting? What are you waiting for?
Waiting to do. Waiting to.
It is what I don't understand about MDC, and I keep saying this, and I'm saying, you're getting this from one of your biggest supporters, and I'm not even an MDC card member, but if you were to actually know exactly the things that I have tried to do to help MDC, then you'd understand my frustration. Why is it so hard to just
sister, it is not. Look at it. It doesn't work like that. On what grounds? Charamba on what grounds?
Charamba. They said the new dispensation that you want a clear roadmap. Even if the United States.
Can I just say something there, DJ?
This is what I'm saying. I'm not trying to argue with you. I understand you, sir. Even Cory Booker.
Boss, can I say something there as well?
No.
Yeah, please hold on.
Even Cory Booker, when you were in the United States, said, do you guys have a clear roadmap of what we need to know as an international community? Do you have something prepared to show us? That is a roadmap that we need to say to the checklist. They have not done this. And the answer is no.
Okay, sister, can I just answer that one just briefly? What I'm saying is this week there was a meeting with the new leader, with the new administration, and yes, ZEC, because the ZEC, there have been a few changes, and they are being supervised by a new administration. This report this week, it was after the meeting. So it's not that we are not engaging.
Okay, so this is something, you've done something recently then?
We have always been. What I'm saying recently, like this week, yes.
Because at the end of the day, when you guys lose elections, you will have to answer to Zimbabwean people. How you lost an election that you knew you were going to lose.
I do understand. This is why I'm saying, yes, there have been engagements. and as latest as this week, and there's a report to that in the public domain.
All right. Okay. The guy teens, Mkoma Wilbert, you wanted to ask a question as well there?
Yeah, I mean, I think here we seem to be going round and round in circle. What Rose is saying here is, if you have submitted something to ZEC, and Charampa saying, oh, you have not submitted anything to us, I don't see what is wrong with MDC sending the same request or the same concerns that you have raised with ZEC to Charamba or to the President or the Minister of Justice, so that they are all aware of what your concerns are. And that is what Rose is talking about here. And a follow-up on the same point, one of the concerns here, and I am one of those who have also said so, there is already a mountain of evidence showing that these elections are going to be rigged. And for MDC to keep on saying we haven't made a decision, what more evidence do you want to finally make the simple decision of saying these elections are going to be rigged? And this point, by the way, is not people like me and a few others who are raising it even on this forum. This point was raised by SADC in 2013. Before the elections, they told Changirai and the other MDC leaders that the elections are going to be rigged. You go into them and you lose them. And that is exactly what happened. And now we're having the same thing.
2013. I can understand. Preparedness today, I think that's what we want. We want challenges of today, not 2013.
Yeah,
No, Pepe, you learn from history as well. If you are not going to learn from the past, it means you make the same mistake over and over again.
The problem with Wilbert, we have always said this a million times. We have said this.
All right.
I'm sorry to
Okay.
SADC yakatituma kuenda kunoita GNU. Part of the reforms that were required to be done was coming up with a new constitution. The new constitution is now in place. As the new constitution was now in place, the government of the day, whether it was ZANU-PF or MDC that would have won the post-GNU
All right. Artisans here.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, tatisika chakunzwisha mataura patina uzinzwe.
Yeah. The SADC said the new constitution was now in place. And for that constitution to be fully consummated, whoever would have won the 2013 elections, be it MDC or ZANU-PF, must have expeditiously aligned all the relevant acts of parliament that were now discordant to the new constitution. There was no need to wait. Independent commissions were supposed to be set up, and also the issue of aligning specific laws, especially the Electoral Act, the Citizenship Act, were supposed to be immediately aligned to the Constitution. That has not happened because ZANU-PF has not brought the motion to Parliament. MDC have tried to bring the motion to Parliament, but they didn't have the numbers after the 2013 elections. So it's why everyone keeps talking about reforms. The reforms are not something in a vacuum. It's just simply ZANU-PF ensuring that the constitution is fully consummated by ensuring that the independent commission like ZEC would be totally independent of government, which means that they would have to be given a budget that capacitates them to operate without having to refer to Treasury for extra funds or to anyone. So they would have to formulate their own budget, submit it to Treasury, be given their budget allocation, and be content with that until the next allocation. And
Can I just say something to clarify that point? I think
Let me just finish.
Tish is right, but what he's forgetting there is that the whole point of the GNU was to make sure that they deliver free, fair, and credible elections in 2013.
Yeah.
Not after.
Let me just finish.
Let me finish the point. Let me finish the point before you go on to.
Sorry, guys.
Hold on. We're not talking about my train of thought because you are preempting.
Hold.
The point I wanted to just say in common equity, the Human Rights Commission should actually have been in place. All these independent commissions were supposed to be given their department, their secretariats, and people appointed with the approval and oversight of Parliament, to whom these commissions have to report. They are independent of the executive. That is the real crux of the matter. Unfortunately, as happened, first, the 2013 elections were done before that was done, because after the constitution was passed, ZANU-PF used an individual to go and challenge the mandate that requires the election to be held after every 5 years, which resulted in ZANU-PF knowing that it was to their advantage, dissolving parliament before all these things were put in place. And that is where the problem is. And that's why we keep on harping about the issue of reforms. It's actually
Right. Okay.
You're breaking up.
Okay. Right. Mukoma Wilbert, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I mean the whole point of the GNU was to implement a whole raft of democratic reforms, including the writing of the new constitution. And when they are all in place, hold the elections so that they are free, fair, and credible, and they are beyond dispute. And the whole point of saying, no, you should not go into election until you've got everything done so that the elections are free, fair, and credible, which is exactly what SADC leaders told MDC and even ZANU-PF at the Maputo Constitution in June 2018. It's precisely for that reason. What's the point of going to an election without everything on the ground ready to make sure that elections are not going to be disputed? It's not a question of you going to the elections and then the result are disputed and then you try to correct them. No, it's too late. That is precisely the point. And that is exactly what has been MDC failed to appreciate here. One of the few MDC leaders who have appreciated it is David Coulter, and he wrote it in his book. In this particular case, if we had said, no, we're not going to those elections, ZANU-PF and the whole, everything would have been brought to a standstill until those reforms are implemented. And that is why it is important to get the reforms implemented before you go into the election. Because like Sister Rose is saying there is no point in you going to the elections, knowing all these things, and then you turn around and say, oh, the elections were rigged. But you knew those things precisely. And in this particular case, if we're going to call international observers to observe a system that we already know is faulty, what else do you want them to say? To tell you that it is faulty? Because if you know those things and you still say you want to go into the elections, then you can't complain about those things. That is precisely the message that some people are trying to say here. And it seems like those who are determined to participate in these elections are ignoring that warning.
Okay, right. Zvandakuita muri Zimbabwe. This might go on and on and on and on, but we just want to have a short musical break.
This is a disclaimer. The opinions expressed by contributors during radio call-in shows are solely those of the individual callers and do not reflect the opinions of Zimnet Radio, DJs, presenters, managers or administration. Listeners are encouraged and advised to seek the services of qualified professionals for their personal problems.
In touch with the best online station, Zimnet Radio.
Advertise with Zimnet Radio. Email marketing@zimnet.
neighbor in Zimbabwe was later 8 minutes gone after the hour of 11. Sometimes emotions here will rise high and high and high and high. May I take this opportunity to say hello to some of my colleagues that are listening here. Tete Shalati ku Australia. Thank you so much. Madam Bosapo, Tete Sibo, thank you so much for following the show. Right. I've got I'll be Matarutse here, and I'm going to read it. This is the transparency that we need on this show, and I know that some radio stations might not want to read it out, but we do here because that's how we are. My personal opinion is he sounds very suspect. He don't answer questions directly, and he talk round in circles as if to intentionally dilute points. You know everything, as he know everything when it is mentioned, and yet he don't mention anything himself or anything specially useful. The program has got more punch and precise when he is not there. I hope he is not a ZANU PF. Oh, those are my it. I strongly suspect he is. Yes, that's then this one is saying that as the MDC presented their findings to Parliament for discussion. I think that was answered Nyati earlier on there. Here's what Pepe kwanzi munenge matumwa nezanu PF mimi panapa ne mtereri wangu.
I think are entitled to his own opinion.
Okay.
And, I'll be the last person, even if the whole 13 million people rally behind ZANU-PF, I'll be the last person to be out of it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just being factual. But again, look at it. I'm not here to show complacency. And we are here to listen. We are a listening party, and that is exactly what I'm doing. Yes, where I've got information, I'll furnish you. Where I don't have information, I'll come back to you and give you the information.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Maybe let me just start with you there. Who is leading ZEC now? That amaiwaya wakadzingwa basa nekuda kwe nyaya dzakaitika dze BVR idzi.
Yeah, we understand kuti vakaappointa mukadzi wa Moyo, which yes, again it's an appointment that we have openly challenged, because we it could again the law is not going to compromise. It's a militarization of the whole process. So in that case, yes, and we are not happy with that, and we have not accepted that appointment. We are challenging it, but unfortunately, the Constitution, our hands are tied, because the appointment didn't get to a president.
That's what the Constitution said.
Yes, and then of course the Parliament. Yes, we can raise the issue in Parliament, which so far I understand that our MPs have done so, but whether anything will change, we are not sure, because again we are fighting a system. This is still a ZANU-PF system. Not much has changed.
Okay. Thank you so much. Mkoma Teach, what's your take on this one? Is the appointment official yet?
Well, is it official?
Yeah, because some people were telling me that it's not official.
Well, it's not official until there's a statutory gazette a statutory instrument has to be gazetted because ZEC is by whatever happens, the Constitution.
Right, okay. Mkoma teach. Hello, Mkoma teach. Your line is cutting. Your line is cutting badly. We can hardly hear you. I don't know if you want to do something there because we cannot hear you.
Yeah, you're breaking up. It's really bad.
Maybe I got also phone
Right. Okay. Okay. Right. Mukoma Wilbert.
Hello, sir.
Mukoma Wilbert, what's your take on this appointment? Is it official yet?
I don't know whether it's official, but to be quite honest, there's really nothing anyone can do, because let's be honest here. As long as the system is loaded and ZANU-PF can do what they please, if it wasn't here, they could have appointed somebody else. But we know as long as they've got the overall decision and they can do what they please, whoever they appoint, we may even have concrete evidence that that person is biased. That person is sympathetic to ZANU-PF to the point of becoming ridiculous. But there was nothing we can do about it. And this comes back, unfortunately, to what I've been saying before, that this is where you should have implemented the reforms, because that would have meant the appointment of the ZEC officials, their operations and so forth are truly independent, and you can have recourse on that. But in the present system, honestly, there is nothing you can do about it. If it's not here, it could have been anybody else, but whoever it is, I can tell you, we would have found ourselves in the same situation, the same boat we are in, where ZEC is not going to perform because it is literally another department in ZANU-PF, and is there to deliver the ZANU-PF agenda.
Okay. Thank you so much. Mkoma teach.
According to Wikipedia,
Right. Okay.
You can't hear me.
No, absolutely not. Okay. No, we can't. Sekuru Maskara Sego.
Can I suggest something that could help? I sometimes had the same problem as well. If you log out of Skype and try to log in again, you may find sometimes it clears the problem.
Oh, okay. Right. Sekuru Maskara Sego.
Yo, mshukuru wangu waswera si man.
Ko ingo iko dzamunouya kubasa idzi Sekuru.
Iwe zvevakuru hazvivhunzwi.
Kazi. Zvekuti hanzi wakuru zvineiko nebasa Sekuru?
Kana basa ratu, kana mkuru atuya basa ratotanga.
Anyway, I forgive you. I heard that you are fighting to bring Henrik Mkhitaryan to the Emirates.
Imi zvinhu zvakakiitika kuArsenal zvautotinetsa.
Sekuru.
Ewo mzukuru.
Sekuru ndianiko akatora nzvimbo yaRita Makarau?
Akatora nzvimbo yaRita Makarau asati agadzwa. Pane rugere kupeko kuti pari kuda kugadzwa mukadzi waGeneral
Sibusiso.
Yeah.
So this is not official. It's just in the pipeline. People saying that she's the one who is going to be given the job.
Vanhu vane makuhwa muzvikuru vari kunyanya kukurumidza.
Okay. All right. Okay. So hapana nyaya, you don't think kuti they're going to appoint her?
ZANU hapana chinorambidzwa kuZANU. ZANU hairambirwi chinhu. saka ukanzwa makuhwa atanga ekuzanuka wochitongotarira kuti chii chichaitika next. Kungoti hako vanokurumidza kuzotaura zvimwe zvinhu zvisingazoitiki nemazvo, asi zvinhu zvinotaurwa nemakuhwa zvozobuda zviri izvi.
But would you be happy with the appointment of the wife of the foreign minister?
Not at all. In fact, inini pachangu ndingatovhunduka kuti kuzanu hakuchina vanhu vane pfungwa here, vese vakupenga here.
Should it be a ZANU representative chairing ZEC? Is that what is in the constitution?
No, in the constitution it is a qualified a person, a neutral person qualified to be a judge or a sitting judge or a retired judge.
Right. So if this sitting judge or a retired judge is the wife of Emerson Mnangagwa, why shouldn't she be appointed? That's the question here.
Pane chinhu chinonzi conflict of interest ipapo.
Oh, okay.
If you then ngati totora nyaya yekuti paita chinhu chinoda kutongwa chinoinvolva mumwe munhu against ZANU, iwe unofunga kuti kana ari akagara apo Lois Matanda moyo akati murume wake akanzi wabiridzira, iye ari yechiavenoseki, murume wake akanzi wabiridzira mavhoti 3 emunhu weopposition, unofunga kuti akati hongu murume wangu wabiridzira zviri pachena, akati hongu murume wabiridzira, muchato wacho uchiripo here? Muchato wacho kana hello
taurai zving sekuru.
Yakuita echo.
Okay, endai zvoimbe.
Okay. Kana akanzi let's assume kuti murumuri wacho onzi ndizvozvo wabiridzira, unofunga kuti muchato wavo unenge uchiri kuenda mberi here? Kana kuti ngaati murume wake haana kubiridzira, pane uchapo hwokuti abiridzire, unofunga kuti chii chinozoitika apapo nemaopposition?
Right, okay. That's fine. Thank you so much, Sekuru, for that. Mukoma Tichi, any better with your mic there? Hello, Mukoma Tichi, any better with your mic there? Right, absolutely nothing. Tete Rosie?
Yes?
Yes, I mean, I spoke to you earlier on about this, and you're saying that this is not official, but would you have a problem if the wife of Busiso Moyo now become chairperson of ZEC?
To be honest with you, it doesn't really matter to me who becomes chairman of ZEC. ZEC is never going to give you a free and fair election.
Yeah.
ZEC, she's not the chairman of ZEC, is not the only problem in ZEC. The whole organization is flawed. So it doesn't really matter who they put there.
Okay. Thank you so much, Tete.
So what would be your solution, like Tete Rose?
Honestly, I've been saying this whole time. What the opposition should have been fighting for at this point was going around the international community and making it clear that this organization cannot conduct a free and fair election. We need someone else to conduct the election. You're not going to get any reforms. Any election that's going to happen now is going to be flawed.
The trouble with that is the international community is not part of the Zimbabwe constitution.
I understand that, but I feel that if people were fighting with that and saying that, maybe that would also put pressure on our own internal organization to actually make some changes. But the way we fight our battles is like, what I've noticed is MDC has been fighting the same battle, the same way, making the same mistakes. And then when people ask questions, it's always without those Mashure. Some of us support you on 300%.
Tete Rosie, That is MDC's problem. It's just we are here to look at it from its legalistic point. Much as I appreciate some are here to teach for the MDC as I would teach for my own party. But from this discussion perspective, we are saying the laws need to be aligned to the Constitution as is required by the Constitution. And the only other body that we are signatories to and ratified key members of is SADC. And SADC being the key element in coming up with this particular scenario. I'm saying the main opposition should be lobbying SADC and at the same time insisting that our internal laws are complied with. The reason why
I've been saying that.
The reason why ZANU-PF does not want to comply with that alignment, one, is to ensure that they are not in violation of a non-existent law. Because once the law starts to exist, there are so many instances where they can be found guilty of violating it. And the Constitution and the Electoral Act are very clear that certain violations will result in disqualification and the competitor being given the position. This is what other people may not be understanding. The Zimbabwe Electoral Act is clear. If there are two candidates that are vying for an election, or even more than two, the top candidate after the disqualification of the one that may have been found manipulating by coercion, buying, vote buying, influencing, intimidating, and so on. Once that person is disqualified, the person with the next highest number becomes the elected member. So if ZANU-PF aligns the laws, and the way we know is their normal modus operandi, it's them that will be out of power. So
yes,
MDC need to be lobbying SADC as the mother of this situation.
Yes, teacher, I even wrote a petition for one of the opposition parties for SADC. That's why I'm saying I have tried. Because what frustration yangu is because I have tried everything. And I've come to the conclusion lately that there are people specifically in the opposition who have no interest in winning an election.
Right. Zimbabwe, if you're out there and you want to participate, please, ndinyorerei kuno kuma studios. WhatsApp, it's a fantastic way of getting in touch to us, with us. All you got to do is send me a message there. Discuss, and I can, read it out. If you've got an addition to what the panelists are saying, you can add. If you are disputing with them, you can challenge them. If you want to call, you can call in. But, if you want to send me a message, please do. My number is 079-844-55349. Ndatumirwa message panapa na Mr. Zingwa. Vari Australia, Mr. Zingwa in Australia is saying that, Mr. Sodza, can you please read this? MDC has failed its supporters. How do we expect them to lead us if voted into government when they can't even select a well-known committee just to highlight and legally challenge any rigging of elections? That committee would have or should be on international media highlighting all these issues and making loud noise. It's part of a strategy to win. It's part of strategy to win elections. MDC has become a joke. I'm really sorry to say. That's Mr. Zingwa there in Australia.
But DJ, there is a committee. There is a committee within MDC and there is a committee within MDC Alliance.
Oh, okay.
Yes. There are two committees.
There are two committees.
Do you guys have press conferences on these issues, electoral reform?
Sorry?
Have you had press conferences to alert the public? This is what we've now presented, and this is where we are.
There have been some press conferences, but not after this new administration.
Okay, don't you think it's time to have some press conferences with the new dispensation to highlight this thing?
It is a point. So far this week, it was not a press conference, but it was a public document that actually went into the public domain. But yes, it is a valid suggestion, and I think we would take that on board.
Honestly, my personal thing is, I think you should be having these press conferences and actually alerting the public, Saisa, Talapa time E. Tati, this is what we need, Talapa time E. Mozopa Moti, this is what we've gotten. We have gotten nothing, but we tried this. We're doing this now. We've gone to SADC. We've gotten this, but we haven't done this. So that there is a record that everybody knows. Nekuti kuna committee iri secret yatisingazia tinongozwa nyere kupepa radio pamwe.
It was
not helping us.
Yeah. It was made public. It was made public, but what I'm saying is maybe it's the channels that it was published through. But again, look at it. We accept that in terms of public relations, in terms of communications, yes, we can improve. There is need for improvement. It's a valid point.
No,
Okay.
you guys don't. It's not even a need for improvement. There is a need for a vast overhaul of your communications because your PR system sucks.
Okay. All right. This one, again, hearing a message kubva kuna Mkomanyati pano. And Mkomanyati, people are always linked to a party, and where are you going to get an independent person? Even here in the USA, judges are aligned to a party. MDC need to invest in having enough polling agents so they can stop the massaging of figures. Sally, I want to hear it from you. I haven't heard from you for a while now. What's your take on this imminent appointment of ZEC chairperson Kwanzina Sekuru here, that these are just rumors? She's not been appointed yet. These are just rumors. She might not well be appointed in the future, or she might be appointed in the future, but at the moment we don't have anyone there. What's your take on this? Do you think she will be appointed? And if so, will you be happy with that appointment?
Look, if they're talking about her, they're going to appoint her. Okay?
Right.
There's a lot of favors that have to be paid. And most of the favors are going to be with the army and with their spouses or kids or whatever, okay? Look, we have gone from the Mugabe dynasty to the Chawenga dynasty. That's all we've done. Same party, same regalia, same pamerene, whatever, pasine, whatever, and everything. Why is anybody surprised? I mean, seriously, there's nothing that has changed. Nothing. In fact, instead of going up in the party, we've gone down, because now we've gone backwards to the real old boys. Okay? And the old boys have got new wives, I don't know, whatever, okay? And these wives have to be satisfied. And look, the thing is a mess. Seriously, it doesn't interest me who they put in ZEC, because whoever they're going to put in ZEC is going to be part of ZANU-PF or related to somebody in ZANU-PF, okay? So, where do you stand a chance? You don't stand a chance. Finish. I mean, it's sad, okay? It's very, very sad, because there isn't... Everybody's saying, give Mnangagwa a chance. Give him a chance to do what? To do exactly what was being done before and shouting, new dispensation, new dispensation. Please, no. Look, if they put Moyo's wife in there, hey, Mokorokoto, good luck. Go kill a goat, we'll have a party. What can we do? It's according to the Constitution, but it's ZANU-PF's interpretation of according to the Constitution.
All right.
Okay? So, I mean, yeah, what can we do?
Okay.
In any case, if it's not her, it's going to be somebody in that line. okay, that's going to be part of ZANU-PF. So whether it's her or whether it's somebody else from ZANU-PF, it's still going to be the same thing. So.
Right. Okay. Aywa, thank you so much, Sally, for that. I was at work this afternoon, and I saw a message that Chief Soshe, of all people, posted. By the way, Chief Soshe, there was a listener here who had sent a question for you specifically to answer. But anyhow, you didn't turn up today. I know that there's something going on there, because normally you're here all the time. But we'll keep that question, and we shall ask that question next week. But anyhow, there's this message that you put on Facebook here, which touched my heart. I read it and I thought, wow, interesting story. But anyway, let me try and read it. It's very sweet and short. Kwanziko, before Nelson Mandela left prison, he said, "As I stand before the door to my freedom, I realize that if I do not leave my pain, anger and bitterness behind me, I will still be in prison. I wonder how many of us have imprisoned ourselves inside the walls of anger and bitterness. Let us pray for the grace to let go of the anger and bitterness of past. Let go of the situation or things we can't change. Walls of bitterness and anger are worse than being locked up in a cell, because wherever you go, you carry them. Even in your sleep, you are with them. Let's ask God to grant us the grace of learning to love and let go of all bitterness. Be inspired and make a choice to let go of your bitterness." I thought that was fabulous. But anyhow,
Amen. That is brilliant.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Besides the point, Sally, I saw you were talking to one of my colleagues here, DJ Mas, that you were listening to what the president had to say. He had some kind of he had some kind of live debates and all that. What was so funny? What was so funny about this? I didn't see it, but I was just glancing through my mobile phone at work, and
to me.
No. What was so funny about it?
He's going to come and shout at me because he didn't even see the funny side of it. Look, I'm sorry. The thing was completely and utterly. Other people were terribly upset with it. Other people thought it was, well, the majority of people thought it was the greatest thing since chewing gum. Okay? For me, I was
now, Sally, hang on, Sally.
Yeah?
Try and tell me. I've not seen it. I only saw the conversation you were having on our group there. That was pathetic and whatnot. What actually happened? What was going on?
Mnangagwa was having Mr. Mnangagwa. I'm not calling him president. Mr. Mnangagwa was having a town hall meeting with the youth, and it's supposed to do with Davos, okay, or something. I don't know how it was to do with Davos, but anyway. And it was a meeting with certain certain parts of the youth. I think it was business and that kind of business, okay? Look, I love the fact that for the first time in I don't know how long, a president was actually sitting in amongst the people. I think that was phenomenal. It's just who he was that upset me. But then what he's trying to do, from what I can make out, okay, what he's trying to do is he's trying to bridge the gap between the older generation and the youth, okay, and trying to get the youth to voice their, discuss their problems, their hopes, their dreams, all that kind of stuff. I mean, this is just in very, very simple words, okay? the problem is that because this kind of discussion at such a high level has, I'm going to say, never happened in Zimbabwe with a sitting president, okay, so openly, so casually, and that kind of business. The people that were doing the questions, that were asking the questions, the radio DJs and that kind of business, okay, their questions were very timid and worded very immaturely, okay? And people got a little bit upset about that, but for me, that comes with time once people start feeling more comfortable and getting used to it. But it got to the stage where, seriously, it was like sitting at home, okay, and you were discussing things. It was so, important stuff was missed out. Important questions were missed out on. It was, and there was so much butt kissing. Oh, dear Lord. I mean, if this guy ever thought he was just an ordinary person, at the end of Minister Nyoni's introduction of him, he would have thought, never mind God, he would have thought he was the maker of everything, plus, okay. And that irritates me. It irritates me beyond anything. I can't stand that kind of creeping around people. So that upset me, okay?
Right.
Okay. He answered things. You know, let me just say this. Mnangagwa for me, okay, and what I have always seen in him in all these years, this man will sit and actually listen to you. The problem is, while he's listening to you, he's studying you. And he's when he asks a question, it's a very pointed question, okay, if he asks you a question, because he wants to find out about you, okay? And that makes me very uncomfortable. But this man was telling the youth exactly what the youth want to hear.
All right.
Okay. And
can I add something to that?
This frightens me unbelievably, because the Zimbabweans are so ripe at this time for somebody to get them out of the mess. And they're listening to this man and they're believing him, and it's so dangerous. But, I mean, it was hilarious at the same time, okay? But it was
all right.
Something to see, okay? So that was the thing. I mean, otherwise I can tell you a story.
I know.
Stories that he was being asked and that, okay? But I mean,
all right. I know. Guys, what is happening is there's a lot of people that are writing to me here, but I have to read a few of them. Mukanya in Leicester is saying that Mr. Pepe should accept and maybe channel the information accordingly. Then panapa ndina mukoma Albi Matarutsa warikuti, what Sally is trying to say is that the Mnangagwa interview was staged. That was obvious. If Mnangagwa really wants to know what the people of Zimbabwe think, he should go on the street. Today was for the international community to see and think that all is well in Zimbabwe. That was the thing. Then ndina Papalodza ku Liverpool, muno United Kingdom. Hello DJ Sodza, thank you very much for an informative and very interesting program. My question is to the panel who are on the show to enlighten us on what reforms that need to be done. So isu vasingazive tonzwa zviri kudiwa would need this explanation point by point. And to Mr. Pepe, what reforms did they achieve when they were in the GNU? And I agree with Tete Rosi. with the roadmap for the elections. Also, we want to know who is in the committee for MDC, please. When you Papa Lodza kuno ku Liverpool. Kwanza, I love your show. I've been listening to it for ages. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Papa Lodza. But you have asked quite a lot of questions there, which we haven't got time to tackle. I think at the moment. But I understand you're about to go there.
Yes, indeed. I need to prepare something. Yeah.
I know Papa Lodz has asked quite a lot of questions here. I don't know if there's any particular question you just want to answer him very quickly.
Yeah, I think electoral reforms are as we have always said, the reforms that we have been talking about is firstly is realigning a constitution, because Maloz actually it's only good and to implement. That's number one. The second one is also in terms of ZEC. Yes, we are aware that the ZEC itself is staffed in the ZANU-PF and also the CIO, right? That needs to be reformed. That is one other reform that we have always put across, so that operationally it is a professional body. That's one aspect. We've also demanded in terms of freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, access to media, which opposition we have not been able to. Right? So those are some of the reforms that we have been asking for. Another one is to set up a committee, which is a stakeholder committee, in order to implement the roadmap to elections. That includes all players. When I say all players, not necessarily MDC alone, but any other political party, each take part in the election process. Okay? So, among others, those are the main ones. Now, I think, I hope, I have actually sort of summarized the main points, what we mean by reforms. Yes, the other question, is to implement those reforms. What are the reforms that we did implement during the government of national unity? But as we have said, we came up with a constitution with all the laws that need to be aligned. Operational in terms of my reforms. So yes, it's not that they were not done, but they've not been realigned. And this is what we are demanding. I hope that I have answered it.
Okay, Aiwa, thank you so much Wapeve for that. Sekuru, are you still there?
Wongo muzukuru.
Zviri kutaurwa navazukuru wenyu zvisekuru, pane something here chamanzwa chataurwa apa kune vari kunyora kuno vachindinyorera kuwhatsapp, zviri kutaurwa navazukuru wenyu paline izvozvi, something that you want to enlighten us about pane zvataurwa izvi, kana kuti you are content today there?
No, nyaya yekuti MDC did not achieve or what reforms did the MDC achieve during the GNU? Inongotonyorwa chete nemunhu asingazivi kuti takabva kupi. Otherwise, tingaita list inozadza nyika ino yeBritain diki ne. Nema achievements acho. The first thing is, the reason why he is writing now and asking that question is because the MDC went into the GNU and they made it possible for people to write those comments. Before ndakabva kuZimbabwe, vanhu vaiveko vanga vasingazivi kuti chii chinonzi email. Pandakabva kuZimbabwe, most of the people, in fact, 80% of the people didn't know what an email was.
And which year was this?
This is in 2004.
Oh, okay.
So it's not very far away. But now everybody has got a phone, a smartphone, kuti dzakauya sei kwavari. They just don't know. These things were not allowed. That was a major information reform process. Kungoti haigoni kuquantifyiwa, because now we can communicate with each other and they can ask these questions and we can answer these questions because of that availability of the internet to the generality of the public. Before, the only source they had of communicating was to write a letter to ZBC, which would not be read. And therefore, if they had any question, they would not question. Then we go to the electoral reform of who presides over the elections. Pane munhu ainzi Jaji Chiweshe akapedza 35 days akagara pama results at 2008. The 2013 results were out in exactly 24 hours. Why was that achieved? Because MDC had gone into parliament and had gone into parliament with a favor to register a constitution which says you cannot announce the results more than 24 hours after the election.
So these are some of the reforms that people don't see, but these are some of the reforms that you achieved. Is that what you are telling us?
Yes, these are reforms that have already been achieved. The question of the constitution itself, even ZANU tried to change the constitution on its own and they failed. Only when the MDC got into government did we change the constitution. But who gets the credit? Obviously ZANU, because ZANU had the head of state. But it was a monumental task for the MDC to get those laws changed. Right today, as we speak today, the judge, the judge of this Concord, the president of the Concord has ruled that diasporans can challenge the voting process in a full court before the full bench of the Concord. But who knows how that came about? It came about because of the constitution yakaitwa MDC. If that constitution was there, the diasporans would have nowhere to go because they had already been locked out by a ruling which said they cannot challenge the voting process. If that is not a monumental reform that we should build on, then it also shows the quality of us as a nation, what we expect to get in the form of a government. Because if you can't realize that being allowed to challenge such a monumental issue is important for the outcome of the election, then I don't know, if you think that is not an achievement, then I don't know what an achievement to you is. Perhaps these people are just looking at who is the head of state, and they say if there is no head of state from the MDC, it means they've not achieved anything. Of course, it's a great failure not to get into that position of control, but it doesn't mean it's a failure, a monumental failure, because the reforms are there. What is lacking is the people to enforce them. And I would urge anyone who says hakuna reforms akachievwa ne MDC to pick the constitution and to see how many commissions or institutional bodies have now been included in our constitution, which are supposed to be operating in their favor, which they are not using. If they had used those institutional bodies, we could be getting somewhere. But they don't. They would rather ask individually on the Zimnet radio or on social media, what has the MDC achieved? MDC has opened the doors for you. Go in there and fight.
All right. Sekuru, thank you so much for that. Ndosaka chirongwa chiripo. Vamwe vanenge vasikuziva kuti these are the things that were happening in the background and some of the stuff that the MDC have achieved. Okay, this one is different to what we are saying here. Ndimukoma Meso arikundinyorera panapa, one of our pioneer listeners, Panapa Zimnet Radio. Kwanziko DJ, how are you? This is what's on the ground. what we are facing. As an individual wanting to implement what we as church mission support to over 20 countries have done to directly go and address problems at the grassroots level. I am currently facing great red tape of feminine wear distribution and sourced from Johnson & Johnson. High quality in brackets there. At some district schools, inspectorates, while the boxes are stacked in a garage waiting for approval from high authority, as I am told. I already wrote to headmasters of schools of the intent, but there is stalling. I have done this in other districts, including Harare, without problems before. I feel sorry for the 300 affected beneficiaries, the girl child. Ini Nemi Tinebasa. Let's be the change of our communities. These people have no interest in issues affecting the masses except being voted into office. Now, Sekuru, nema condolences zikane matambudziko nekushaika kwa Roy Bennett. Have you got any sympathy for him?
Oh, I'm devastated. It's said that some people's contributions to a struggle are not properly documented to understand what a fight that Murungu, as you call him, put up to get us to where we are now. I am so devastated, and may his soul and that of his wife rest in eternal peace.
Sekuru, I know what they tried to tell us a little bit about him, but can you tell us what this man did to the struggle?
Murungu, he was a larger than life personality. For starters, he was not a chief, but he had the respect of a chief in his community. The people in his area used to depend on his farm for survival. They never used to get any donations of whatever kind from the government. They used to get their life from his farm. That's one thing. Murungu had schools on his farm. Taipindwa mahara shando yake. No one knows shando yake. Murungu, he was a great connect with the generality of the grassroots, such that all my complaints that was funding MDCs, international, and things like that. It was him who was working with his farmers' friends to oil the struggle with funds. He used to pour in thousands and thousands of his own money into the struggle. Murungu akapinda parliament akanobatwana nachinamasa nenyaya yokuda kumirira zvido zvevanhu. Akamuisa mujeri, akasendenzwa naPaul Mangwana. Paul Mangwana akumirira nhasi achimiramira kuti toda kuti varungu vadzoke. Sentence this guy for saying Mugabe must go. Akamusendenza kujeri Paul Mangwana. For years he toiled in jail. Achipedzwa achibudiswa ridiculous pictures achinzi ane majamba okujera, all in the name of fighting for our freedom. Now we lose those kind of people who with that kind of commitment, and we just don't tell the story. We are wrong. This man was really a democrat, fighting for a democratic dispensation, which he has now died without seeing. And that is painful, that.
All right. Wow. Seguro, I never knew. I knew that there was Roy Bennett there, but I never knew that he had gone to that extent.
He had a shona name, Ainzi Pachelu Badze. Aira Shawa Mtiniswan.
Right. right? And I'm told he was born in Manicaland, where the best people are born.
Well, whether the best or the worst, I don't care. But this particular one was a rare breed of a person. Yeah.
Sekuru, thank you so much. On that note, Tobata Petra Chirongwapan. And so, Tete Rosie, I know you wanted to say something there before I start reading the messages from listeners here. Can I give you 2 minutes to say what you wanted to say?
No, I was going to talk about the Davos thing that Sally was talking about. I was just going to add, Kuti, the people were actually handpicked. There was a list of who could actually come to that particular event. And if you were not on the list, you were not allowed in. So it was not something that was open to the general public. It was something that was open to specific people who were handpicked.
All right. So it was a farcical thing, really, trying to show the West.
No, but look, a town hall meeting, okay, is actually a misnomer, all right? Because, I mean, even in America, when they have these town hall meetings, the people that, before they come into that meeting, are vetted, okay? It's not something that you can just, oh, well, tonight there's a town hall meeting at such and such a place and we're all going to go. No.
I understand what you're saying, Sally, but I'm just trying to explain to you why everybody was bootlicking. Those were not people who were there.
Yeah, I know.
They were there to agree and put a good picture.
Of course.
All right.
Come on. Anybody that doesn't realize that is dilly, I'm telling you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. May I thank everyone for your participation, guys. And I'm sure Sally will post the show on YouTube. You guys, if you want to listen to the show again, it will be available on YouTube probably latest Saturday evening or Sunday. Sally would have done wonders there and put it on YouTube. And also here on Zimnet Radio, you can. Right. Regati tole nhariri kupinda andisuza kuti ndiye anari kufona. Hello Zimnet Radio.
Hello, yeah, I'm just listening to support. This is Konatani from Boston. I just want to notice the plane mukutenda mukutanganya Bennett papa padinga. Mukutanganya kuti akazodina ataiona kuti prazero akaba prazi. When we say akaba prazi vakasira vanhu vavo vasana kuti if it was a school there was no other option. Saka musade kunatsa munhu zvinonzi wasaona accept that. But munhu uyu akaisa kuya kwakaita mwarungu and vanofanirwa kunge vari charge for kuba lendeli takaitora kuchimani koko akamhanya akanorova chinama wedu because akasota he's not an angel.
Okay. So you are saying that Bennett, good job that he's gone. He's not an angel. He's one of the white people that came to Zimbabwe and forced the black people out of the land. So really, he was not as good as Sekuru is telling us here.
No, part of it. He was not an angel. Put Alpha God. And I can never say to people, love is sacred. If I put any loss of life, I mourn the death of anybody. I even probably would have mourned Hitler, bad as he was. But I think that life is sacred. But please, don't try to take any good things.
All right.
Can we answer that? Can we answer that? Because we are very familiar with that.
Okay. Guys, answer it back.
Right. Farmer Roy Bennett, he bought it in cash after receiving a certificate of no interest. The reason why he beat up Chinamasa was because Chinamasa was talking exactly like this woman. And then Roy Bennett produced this offer letter and a certificate of no interest and the receipt what he paid for his farm. Now, when you say akariba, kana mnagatenga ni mari yake aba here.
Kuti pane munhu wejizani wese akapinda muna 1896 descendant yake akazoita zvakazvakana akatenda akati vakaparana ipapo they were changing the line and void contract in law. Say if you buy something that is stolen, you are buying something, you're making a contract, and this is a contract is between buyer and seller. So if I'm making a contract with you over selling goods, our contract is null and void. So
right, chirega ndimbokuvhunzaiwo imimi munda wamunorima kumusha uku makauwanepi imi
takapiwa nezani sekupiwa kwakaita maise mapepa vandaisedza nawo vakaona vanhu vayamudhesi vapirwa munhu wese akapiwa lendi yakapiwa mumamedhebha vaida kuona vakaenda kunotora vamwe vacho vangasikaredza mase
saka imakabowa nemunda neza
makapiwa here matitles.
Just hold on.
Does she have title deeds for her land?
What?
Do you have title deeds for the land?
Not yet. It's in the process.
Well, that means ZANU-PF can take that land anytime. Do you know that? ZANU-PF can take that land from you any day. That's why you don't have title. I'm just saying FYI, just for your own information. You know, the land doesn't belong to you.
Problem.
I'm sorry. Okay, Tete, hold on. Sekuru wapindure because your line is a little bit not very clear. Sekuru pindure it is.
Ini mubvunzo wangu wanga uri very simple. Ndati makapuwa plus ne-government yezanu. Government yezanu yakakupai plus yari wanepi?
Even angasvika kuzimbabwe unoziva kuti takatora minda takaenda ini ndakatoendawo physically ndikaenda kwangu kuti manyika kuti munhu anga aripo makaiona pi nyika vakatoda kuti tisanga kujira kuti vaisambidzira imbwa vachisambidzira imbwa wakaiona kupi nyika it's just asking courtesy but there is no kuti hapana murungu akauya akabata briefcase nemari.
No, question yangu haiziye politics ba. Question yangu ndeye mutemo kuti who owns what. Because imati munhu kana akatenga chinhu chokuba imbavha. Saka imukapuwa chinhu chokuba nezanu amuzimbavhawo here.
Saka kudzokera kuti basics saka munhu abira saka mabhabirwa. Saka who's the ultimate loser? Akatenga chekuba chikazobiwa aliva ndiye akatenga chekuba saka ini ndikatiwa chakabiwa chakabirwa.
No, chimbomirai kupindira nyaya yakakomba zvikuri chimbomirai kupindira tivhunze maya indachifunga kuti sezvo muchigara munyika mashe wenyu yakagara ichizikanwa ndowashe wenyu she wenyu ndiye akakupegirai purazi renyu
kupedza anogondipedzera anosvika kumanyika anosageko ndikuzezere kana kumazonoro kwamai marijata vangu vari kumazo. I don't even agree with what he did and I'm a very independent ZANU-PF supporter and I don't go with the flow.
A very independent ZANU-PF.
No, inini question yangu haiziye vahanzvadzi maquestions angu hambodiwi zvonyu zvokupopota zvamuri kuita. Maquestions angu akangonangana nepamati kana anenge atambira chinhu chokuba imbavha minda isu toziva kuti minda yaivo nzvimbo dzemadzishe handiti before varungu vasati vauya minda yese yaivo nzvimbo dzemadzishe ndizvo here? Saka imi wenyu munda makapuwa nachifani imi
maponi ndobva kwamaponi kumanyisa manyika ndobva kwarusapo.
Saka mune tsamba yamakanyorwa nachief makoni kuti munda wenyu uyu
right. Okay. All right.
You know what always fascinates me about all the people who talk about Midakuzanu is the fact that none of them have title deeds and none of them seem to understand that they don't own the land. When they get ZANU-PF upset, ZANU-PF will just come and take it.
But Muzukuru. No, Muzukuru, this was a historical argument. You didn't quite understand.
Right.
chokonzereswa nemi musingagoni kutonga nyika yedu zvakanaka manzi chitonga itione.
Aiwa mtimwene varungu akatoipisisa mufunge zvenyu akatomboiti hative takabudirira muri kuona zvikuitwa naTrump ari kuchiwanzira handidi because ndezvatiri anototaura chokwadi takabhoekana tikanyora tiona mapepa ese ungatidaro but ine mentality yoyeka yeshuwa pamwe pachona angari right because mubhoyi haasa akabvuma kuti pane chinhu chinobvunza nekubhoyi we are very reactive tinoda kumboitawo proactive kana mubhoyi akanzi atangisa chinhu so uye pasididi wekuamerica akasada kutenga football kane ungasikwanise isi
Pamsore Tete, let's have a conversation, Tete.
Yes.
Tete, what has happened is mafona chirongwa takupedza. May I ask your question, your name, please? Tandi. Tete Tandi, muri kuti fona muri kupi?
Right now, I'm in Massachusetts.
Right. So, Imimi, you are saying Kuti, you are a card-carrying ZANU-PF supporter.
And unashamedly, and unrepentant, unapologetically.
Right. Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine.
I know, Tandi.
Yeah, no, it's very unfortunate that as well your line is not very clear, but would you come back next Thursday?
Yeah, definitely. I listen to that every Thursday. Even for a very, very interesting start when I take it. So like, if it doesn't move me, I don't call. But this one moves me. I'm like, no, I gotta say something.
Oh, you gotta say something. Okay. No, it's very interesting. No, what I'm...
Okay, I will be back.
What I'm trying to say is we want people like you who come here with a different perspective of things. And that makes the show go even deeper. We want to dig deeper and hear where you're coming from and hear your thoughts as well. That's what I'm saying, that if you have time, next Thursday, please join in. We have got these topics, as you say, you listen to the show. Join in rather than just listening from the outside. Join in and put your input in.
No, of course, democracy. And I heard someone say, I'm very good. Yes, what's wrong with that?
Tandi.
Yes.
Hi, it's me, Sally.
Hi.
Remember? How are you doing, darling?
Okay.
Oh, we were batting heads, right?
Pardon?
Right.
You said now we made that we used to bat heads before.
Oh, you used to hate me with a vengeance, my darling.
All right. Okay.
You know, DJ Sodza. Yeah, DJ Sodza. Do you remember me getting sworn out by a young lady on live on radio?
Yeah, I remember.
I'd like to introduce you to Tandi. She was the one that did it.
All right. Okay. No, that's fine.
I think that now. Yeah, we talk about it. I'm sorry from your point of view.
Right.
I have my own issues too. But, it's mutual respect that we need. And now we maintain that. And I do respect with us.
No, that's fine. Thank you so much. And I hope Tete Tandi will come back next week with a better mic there because it's not very clear. Zvandakuita panapa Zimbabwe, we have to call it a day, and we will meet again next Thursday, same time, same place, doing the same thing that we do. My thanks to everyone who has participated on the show. Koma Jabu is writing to me, Hanze, is it true that Roy Bennett is passed away? Yes, we are hearing that he has lost his life together with the wife. It was I think a helicopter crash there in America. So we yeah, Canada. Okay, thank you, Sally. So tinowaperekedza kane mimhanzi. Our last track of the day, Hatina Musha Panyika from Baba Jordan Chataika nehanzvadzi dzawo nhatu. It is a good night, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Please do take care of yourselves and your loved ones. My name is DJ Sodza. See you next week. Bye-bye.